simply cannot say enough about these 3 humanitarians of the year. When you think of Julie and Poonam and Elizabeth, they almost are synonymous and go hand in hand with 3 Square. Julie continues to bring donors to us to advocate for 3 Square. Poonam continues constantly to put our name in the mix and make sure that 3 Square has a seat at the table to make sure that we are adequately funded. Elizabeth Blau continues to serve as the chair of our culinary committee. She and her team do amazing things for 3 Square every day. These 3 ladies have and will always have one of the largest and most amazing impacts on 3 Square. I couldn't be more proud to honor them today and to stand on their shoulders and be able to carry 3 Square's mission forward.
Welcome everyone to the Summerlin Rotary Mardi Gras Gala 2023. And thank you for joining us this evening. You are all looking good. Oh, most of you. For more than 25 years, the Summerlin Rotary Club and its foundation have been dedicated to our community through philanthropy and volunteerism. Tonight is a celebration of service and compassion. We're all here tonight to raise funds to feed our most vulnerable kids and veterans by supporting Delivering with Dignity, Chefs for Kids, and 3 Square, and to honor Julie Murray, Poonam Mather, and Elizabeth Blau as our Summerlin Rotary Humanitarians of the Year. Our club is so proud to combine volunteerism with fundraising, whether it's packing meals for our neediest students and their families, teaching our kids about healthy eating, delivering fully prepared meals to our most food insecure and often housebound neighbors, and serving our most vulnerable veterans who go hungry way too often. We are so inspired by Julie, Poonam, and Elizabeth, whose tireless energy, entrepreneurship, innovation, and passion have combined to co-found 3 Square and Delivering with Dignity while supporting our community's chefs working for our kids. What you are about to see is a true story of purpose and passion and what it took to mobilize on the spot as the COVID pandemic arrived to get Delivering with Dignity off the ground and to sustain it for the past 3 years, which continues to this day.
So I called my friend Poonam about midnight and asked for some help on some gaps that we've seen within our community when the pandemic first started.
She knew that there were going to be vulnerable people that were food insecure, that we had to find a way to serve. And so that was the problem. She called and said, I need a solution. The first person I call always when I'm going to jump in a bunker is Julie Murray.
I hope that my kids, my grandkids yet to come, and generations will look back at this pandemic, and one silver lining will be the way the community came together to start delivering with dignity.
We needed help to find the vulnerable people in our community who needed food. And so we made an instant decision to simply trust our incredible partners in identifying those that have real need in the community. So that was one. 2, how do you get the food prepared? We knew that restaurants were going to go into something that felt like hell. And so if we could save and provide a little hope to restaurants, that just made good sense. We thought, great, we're going to pay them to prepare and pour love and extra gratitude into every meal.
Delivering with Dignity was really just something that came and was a responsibility for us to make sure that nobody in our community was left hungry. And so to be able to be here with Julie Murray and Poonam Mather, 2 of my dearest friends, that we were able to put this organization together in the middle of a pandemic was nothing short of a miracle and a testament to a true strength of will. What happened was that our food delivery system for those most vulnerable in the community was completely upended by the pandemic. Community centers closed, senior centers closed, and of course the entire school district closing its doors. So many children, seniors, and those vulnerable in the community not having access to food. And so Delivering with Dignity, we have incredible partnerships with Mark Marone of Graffiti Bow, Jeffrey Weiss from Valencia Gold, Tiffany Stiles from The Jolt, 4 restaurateurs along with Honey Salt coming together to make sure that even in our darkest time, when it was the absolute worst time, most devastating time for the restaurant industry, we pulled together with the community to make sure that those most vulnerable were able to get hot meals. And these were meals, these weren't emergency meals. These weren't meals of, a cold sandwich or a FEMA meal. These were chef-cooked, warm meals that is the reason we called it Delivering with Dignity.
Third, how do you deliver safely in the middle of a deadly pandemic? And the answer is you rely on the generosity of strangers because there's so much love and compassion. We call those volunteer drivers food heroes. So check, we had that done. The thing that tripped us up a little bit was how do you manage the logistics? There simply aren't enough Post-it notes in different colors to do this. And the thing that made it work was, I'm going to call it destiny, serendipity. It was the chance encounter with a private company that brought the technology and the platform that managed the logistics. Click, we had a solution. Nothing like a good pandemic and a deep crisis to somehow unleash the very best of humanity.
One of the incredible things that we were able to do with Delivering with Dignity was not only provide these 500,000 meals to the community, but also to save restaurant jobs. By partnering with private and public funders, we were able to save almost 60 restaurant jobs during the pandemic.
So that's how it works. It was complicated, certainly, but the premise was not. It was very simple. It's whatever we need to do to deliver food and hope and a little love to those among us that need it most.
Delivering with Dignity is truly a community effort involving several nonprofits, community partners, government agencies, including the county, as well as restaurants, and last but certainly not least, volunteers.
It's called Delivering with Dignity. The goal is to get meals to people who struggle with poverty on a daily basis. They're also at a high risk for contracting the coronavirus. Well, Honey Salt prepared 800 meals yesterday.
Delivering with Dignity continues that effort. The service has provided nearly 20,000 meals since launching last month.
The launched back on March 23rd, nearly 150 food heroes have signed up to volunteer, delivering more than 84,400 meals to those most vulnerable in our community.
Meal 100,001.
Final delivery.
So our volunteer food heroes are the life of our organization. Since March, they have helped us safely deliver nearly 250,000 meals across the valley.
A call from the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Nevada who said, whatever you're doing, Reno Sparks needs the same thing. And so all of a sudden the three of us looked at each other and said, well, we have stood it up. I wonder whether we can now replicate it. And it turned out it was replicable. And so, boom, within 3 weeks, again, moving at the speed of urgency that was demanded by this deadly pandemic, 3 weeks later, Reno was delivering their first meal. And a couple of months after that, we had some community leaders from Orange County who called and said, not on our watch. We want our Orange County most vulnerable citizens to have some dignity and hope as well.
We learned from the volunteers. They would come back and say, my goodness, Sally or Violet or Emily received the food and they cried when they got it because they thought they would fall through the cracks. They were worried that with everything going on in the world, they wouldn't be seen. And here the three of us came out with a press conference and we said to the community, we will find you. We will find a way to make sure that not one person falls through the cracks. So it is our hope that this initiative touched so many lives. It's our hope that even more people will know about it and more donors will keep funding it.
I would really need to do a shout out to Elizabeth Blau, who happens to be my wife, Kristen Whitmore, Poonam, Julie Murray, the whole team that, started this and worked diligently to make this happen. We're all very honored to be part of this, and we're honored to be partners with our restaurant teams that are still doing this. We're all in this together. We're pretty proud of that.
So it takes a commitment out of a community to do something for those among them who are vulnerable. And you can't replicate that, you can't call it in. And so the communities that have got that heart and that willingness, we were the birthplace because we have more heart and more willingness than most communities. But man, we saw it again in Reno Sparks, we've seen it again in Orange County, and I suspect over time we will continue to see it in other communities around the country. So we are sort of the place of imagination after all. This is Las Vegas. And in our darkest moments, we lit a light that was brighter than any neon that I've ever seen in the third of a century I've lived here. And it was a light of hope and possibility, fueled purely by compassion and love.